have a software section here where you can put a lot more games and everything here if you choose to do so, or you could just use the 6 profiles that comes with the Azeron, meaning the onboard doesn't need the software open and running and everything. While if you do decide to use the software section of it, you do have to have the Azeron open and running and everything while playing the game. So it's really up to you how you want to utilize this. You could do both, I suppose, if you want to and everything, but I'm going to leave that up to you guys. This right here is my crouch and my slide key for Fortnite. This is the far back trigger on my Azeron. Here is the edit key for edits when I do builds. My rotate when I have to rotate ramps or something really quickly. I can just do that. And then if I need to change the material, I use this. So these are all the far back triggers on my Azeron that I do use. Next up is this first back triggers on the Azeron. So this is stairs, floor, wall. I just have it rough. So this is what I use when I'm building. I'll just do like, maybe I'm pushing up someone and got a ramp rush real quick. I'll put up my ramp, my stairs, whatever you want to call them. This is right here, stairs. Okay, next thing, maybe the floor and then wall, just to make those ramp rushes a little bit more sturdy. And then here is what we have is the AR. My first slot is my AR. So this is the jump here, right here. 19, the space is jump. I'm not going to press any of these because I don't know what's going to do to the OBS system. So I do apologize. This one is the AR slot. This is the shotgun, SMG, mobilities, and heal. The next one is my fire trigger button. So I don't use the mouse to fire. I use the Azeron, which is a very top, one of the first top triggers on the Azeron, which is my fire button. So I won't use the mouse button whatsoever. It's just on the Azeron. It's just simpler for me. I use the Azeron just to kind of like rotate around and look around, and that's really about it. And then I have the use button, which is E, you know, open doors or maybe the chest and everything. K is for trap. Pickaxe is the top trigger here, very top, so I have to take my hands out of the slot and kind of come up here and hit these triggers here. I have inventory, see what inventory I have, and then if I'm in reload, I have this programmed as well. And then next up, we have the map button right here, which is a little piece of like plastic on the Azeron. I'll have to show you guys a close-up of it. It's a little piece of plastic, and it's just a little square, and I just have to move it. There's 5 ways to move this, and I just move it here and I hit the Azeron. I push inward to get my clips and everything, so that's beautiful. It's right there. I just push a button on this little square thing and it clips everything. Otherwise, I have these other 3 slots here available. Say I want to hit this one and hit escape key, and then I come here to custom label and I can just say escape. Now I have the escape key for my my game, so now I can get out of it pretty quickly. But let's say I don't want it here on this area where I was talking about. It's not easy because you kind of have to fool around with it just to know where the location is. For me, that's what it is. I'm gonna put it right over here. I can just drag it, move it over here, and that's the beauty of the Azeron. Any of these can be like moved around if you want to move them around like that. You just hold, drag it. And it's the beauty of the Azeron, hot swappable binds at your fingertip. And then there's more triggers down here. You have 2 triggers here. I don't really use them. And then I have auto run, which is basically on the joystick for the Xbox one. So I just press down on it. Auto runs for me. Perfect. So how do you do this? How do I get a new profile? So you're going to come over here and hit add profile. And it's going to bring up a clean slate for you. So you can see we have profile 4. We're going to go ahead and name this test. We're just going to call it test at the moment because that's what this profile is. So I'm going to say we're going to set up another Fortnite section and everything. And let's say I want my walls down here. So I could go ahead and just put like, I didn't memorize it. So we're just going to use examples here. W, and we'll just call it like wall. Okay. And then we could come here and put stairs. We'll just S and we'll call it ramp or whatever. And then we'll do this one as cone. We'll call it. And then this one is floor. I don't know why I skipped it. I just did. Floor. And these are just like how you set up the triggers. Simple as that. Whatever your keybinds are in Fortnite, it's what it's going to be for the Azeron. Simply just programming it that easy. So these are the back triggers here. The far Azeron As you remember previously, if I come back here to Fortnite, my triggers are here. While on the test profile, they're down here. They're just one row back. And maybe I want them back there. Who knows? And I could just set the Azeron to any way I want to have it and program it. And as you can see, we now have onboard four out of 6 profiles. So this is just a test one. This is not going to stick around. You have the choice to activate, copy to, copy as a profile, unbind everything you just did, or just simply delete the entire profile. Go ahead and hop into the settings and go over the settings right now. Alright, so this is the apparent theme settings. We have default, which is kind of purple. It's kind of what you see here. I could choose it to lilac. It's an interesting color, I'm not going to lie. I kind of like it. And then we got this orange one. I kind of wish there was more colors, or even better, a customized profile section, so we could choose the color of what we want the theme to be. I think that would be lovely. Button mapper. This is very interesting. Your button sizes could be small. You could have medium, large. Have large. It's probably the best for myself. You can see what they look like. This is the button sizes here, as you can see. So what happens if I go to small, I hit 8 pixels and everything. And what does that look like? Well, that looks like that. It's much smaller. I don't like it. I'm going back to large, medium. It's a little better. It's a little better. Not by much, though. I like large and everything. And as you can see, we got the large. You can choose that to however you want to do it for yourself. Maybe you want to put this on screen while you're streaming or something. Maybe you want to go small, maybe a 10 font, and then come here. And people you could just map that out to OBS to your own preference and just show it on screen. And you could do many things with that. For me, I leave it at large and 12. We have so this is a lefty layout. So my Azeron is for a left hand. My left hand, which is mirrored on the screen here. Unfortunately, it's showing right. I promise you it's my left hand. My mouse is my right hand. So you can get the Azeron left or right. And same thing with their cryo mouse. It's left or right. That's the beauty. They make it for both hands. So right now, I don't have the lefty layout on. If I do put it on, it just kind of messes with my dyslexia in a way, and I don't like it. So I kind of keep it off for myself. So now you see the joysticks over here, the buttons over here. I'm just not a fan of it personally, so I kind of like it off for myself because it matches the joystick. The joystick's on the right hand side of my Azeron, so this side. So it makes it easier for myself to kind of read it and not mirror it around and everything. That's just something that I've noticed. It kind of messes with my dyslexia. I don't like it, so I do keep it off, even though it is a left Azeron controller and everything. That's just something I prefer. You may not prefer it. You could have it on if you choose to do so. Each their own. Hide custom labels. So we put that on. We go back to profiles. You can't read those labels anymore. Maybe you want those off so you don't have to show what your profile is if you're doing a video. I don't know why you would want those off to begin with because you're not really looking at it 24/7. Show keybinds with custom labels. Again, you could have it on and it's just as is. Not really much. Then we have hide button numbering. So if you go to the profile, you can see there's like 28, 4, 8, 12. You got those numbers here. You can go ahead and hide those if you choose to do so. I mean, it just shows like where the buttons are on the Azeron, what button that is on the Azeron and everything. There are 30 buttons on the Azeron Cyborg 2, so it should show around that amount of numbers. And then we have auto scaling. If turned on, check your application's current window size and scale the content automatically. I do have that on. And then you have LED lighting, editing software. I do use this for video editing and everything. If I hit it again, this will light up yellow, orange on the Azeron. So it does have a little RGB in here and everything. And that just tells you on the Azeron, hey, this is the profile you're on. So they use a color profiling just to let you know, hey, you're on this profile, which this would be my video editing for yellow. And then for Call of Duty, it's red, and you have to double check it just to like get it to go to that profile. Just Just throwing that out there. And it's red. And then the test one is aqua blue, which is a pretty color in my opinion. But yeah, so that's just the colors on here. And then I go back to my Fortnite, it's just purple. It's my first profile. So you can click the button on the side of it, and it's gonna tell you the profile color and just show the color for the profile that you have. But I keep it on just so I know which profile I'm on. You can make it as bright as you want. I keep it at 50. I don't think it needs to be up to whatever number there is, 100 I think, 150. It does not need to be 150. Just keep it at like 45-50% and you should be fine. Okay, that was just appearance. Let's go ahead and do the update settings. This is where you're going to see the software version and firmware version and the release notes right here. I don't touch this. I kind of leave it as is. You could do beta version, opt in, but if you do that, you may get a little bit of bugginess when gaming. So for me, I'm going to keep it off. Auto update is enabled, so I don't have to go and worry about an update. This is just going to do it for me. It is on for myself. And maybe it's not working right and I'm having issues with the software. I will go ahead and reinstall the latest firmware, and then it should fix your issue. Analog settings. This is for the joystick and everything. So the analog joystick dead zones are calibrated independently as their profiles are saved on the hardware. So you can read this on your own, pause it, read it if you choose to do so. These are my current settings. You could calibrate it. Mine is 35.3, and then lower dead zone is 10% and upper is 3%. So I calibrated it and that's what it gave me. I could always adjust it or reset it if I choose to do so. I'm not going to do that. I'm happy with my settings. It's what it is, what Azeron recommends for myself. Azeron, if you're watching this and this may be wrong for Fortnite, please let me know. But for right now, I'm okay with these settings. Well, angle is turned off for myself. It just acts as a primary angle configuration for your device, taking priority over the angle settings specific in each individual profile. I have this off for myself. I don't really play too many games with the Azeron. Right now, it's just Fortnite, which is my main game, and then secondary would be Call of Duty. So those are my two. So I don't need that. Windows settings. So it will start with Windows when you turn it on. It will minimize, and any buttons, close buttons, minimize software to the tray, and check to monitor games on startup. That's off. Each one of these is a preference to how you want it to be. I just left this as is. I think this is what I had set. I could be wrong. And export profiles. You could import and export your profile. Maybe you want to share it with somebody. You can do it right here. I've never done it. I don't know how it really works, but I do know exporting means you download it basically, and maybe your friend sent a profile of theirs. You could go ahead and import that profile right here. Advanced. I don't think I really touched this, but button throttle helps with accidental or ghost double press. So it's easy to double press these pretty quickly. When you first get it, it's very, very sensitive. You may want to mess around with this for yourself. It does take time to get used to the Azeron and pressing on those buttons if you've never used one. This may help you. Amount of time in milliseconds that must pass before the key can be pressed again. I have mine for 10 milliseconds at the moment, and it's standard. So each to their own again for the button throttle. Let me know what you use for the button throttle. For me, I have it to 10. I don't know what alternative is. Oh, measure time between button presses. I don't know what Fortnite people use when they play with the Azeron. Everyone's different, but I am curious what your button throttle is. Let me know down below in the comment section. Global analog throttle helps to limit frequent inputs, especially useful in game sensitivity to quick key presses. So mine's set to 0. And then the default macro duration is 50 milliseconds. And then you got the troubleshooting here. If you need help, go ahead, email them and export the logs here. Utilities for enabled thumbstick logging. You could turn that on and then kind of mess with these buttons if you need to do so. But that's really it for the software. You do have their community socials here. Quickly, I would recommend hopping in their Discord if you're getting an Azeron. The community is very helpful with everything. You'll get help immediately. Or if you just want to follow their socials, see what's new, what's happening with the company, and people that are using this, definitely follow them here. And that's it. That is the software of the Azeron. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you have any questions about it. Join my Discord and I'll be happy to answer them as best as I can. If you're getting an Azeron, there is a 5% code. It is Arctic Sky, so feel free to go ahead and use that code and grab yourself an Azeron, or maybe you just want the Cryo Mouse. Go ahead and use that. The code will work for both products. Until then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video.